Hey, good evening. Um, just wanted to kind of bring everybody a little bit up to speed this week. I understand that there was some issues here or some concerns over a week on understanding the case study and the case study analysis. So I thought I'd go ahead and just take a few minutes here and welcome you to kind of week three as we get into it. Still working through um, the kind of the discussions and everything. Those should be completed probably on Thursday. So I should be. I'm getting working through those. But this week we do have the start of a case study analysis, and what there's. I know there is this document here that says basically kind of walks you through how to do a case study. This one's it's interesting and very useful, but it's going to be one of those where you're on as you go through this, and this is kind of a step-by-step place. This is a general one, okay? So what you'll have is kind of go through and you'll read this um, just to hit the fine notes here. The case background here, the case method is where you first start to take a look at it and you read through this case. This one here is very simple. As you'll see, it's only it's about 2 pages long, very short. But I want you to take a look at those and kind of still look at those types of things. Cases are kind of like real life. You're going to have no situation is going to be clean. It's not going to be a right answer. It's going to be about making a decision, and then basically understanding where your position is going to be. What was your thought process that you reached that decision through? So as you go through here, you're kind of looking to remove kind of noise, and typically, especially in some cases, there's going to be, okay, you do this, you do that. One case is going to say you need to handle it this way. Another person is going to say you need to handle it this way. You kind of put all that aside and think about what the facts are. As in a legal case, it'd be just say, yeah, just the facts. So it's what you're really wanting to sort through all those types of things. And again, this is a really short case for you guys. So, um, so the first thing the steps through there. You're going to read the case, take a look what the problems are. In this case, it's pretty easy. What that problem is, you're not going to have any problem doing that. Kind of form an analysis. In a minute, when I bring up the case, you'll kind of see some of the analysis is already in there for you. There will be kind of in a case that way, but you're going to add your own pieces to it. You're going to really think about what you're doing, okay, and what you would do if you were put yourself in that spot and say, okay, this is my situation, how would I handle it? And that's what this is the COA, the course of action, where you make your recommendations. I equate this as to being like a consultant. So you're going to read the situation and then take a look at that. Identifying the problems, you're going to be looking for those root causes. You're going to be digging down. Don't look at the surface. Don't look at what the issue, what those things are. Kind of look beyond that and how you would dig down to cause those things, just like you would if you were a consultant. Okay, and then basically this here gives you some great information on how to perform your analysis. You got for this one, you don't have to be quite this in detailed. This is obviously out of the MBA program, so it's going to contain a lot more details. And if you continue on into the MBA program, I would be expecting this from your case studies. Okay, so you're really going to be thinking about what your recommendations are and how you would do that. So let's come back over here to take a look at what we're doing here. Okay, so I basically have given you this particular case. As soon as it comes up here, boom, a couple clicks. Okay, this is out of the International Institute of Directors, okay, and Managers, okay. This is talking about how to lead a team as a remote worker. As a so you're basically, the situation is that this particular company is taking to look at how you would this particular one is here. And again, it's very short, okay? You're going to take a look at this and say, okay, where do you, this kind of read this little, this particular company, it's a real company, and this is before COVID, obviously. So, but the situation really applies now. So what you're going to do here is the team manages in the same office every day, but now your team now has to run a remote office, okay? And he's the managing director of digital agency, and he has basically people all over the country, okay? So what would you think those problems are in relations to running a remote team that may be all over the world? Or in this case, you kind of expand it out if you want to into what would be happening if it was you had to run an office in COVID right now, okay, where everybody is nowhere near there, okay? What do you need to do that? Here it talks about this is they kind of went in, got some top tech. They had an office robot, which is one basically, you know, where he's kind of moving around and checking up on people and monitoring it. Okay, but basically the situation boils down to this: this company was going online. Okay, now how would you tackle that problem? You know, how would you approach managing or recommending setting up a management program here for that particular type of company? You know, here they talk about they went in and bought some software. They talked about Hangouts. Okay, how would you tackle this problem? Okay, you may agree with them and you may not agree with them. And if you agree with them, you still have to document why you agree with them and back that up with some basically some articles that say, okay, this is the way to do things. Okay. You know, you may prefer Microsoft Teams instead, or you might be using Zoom like I am here. Okay. Again, you're going to want to take a look at this and how would you solve this problem? How do you lead this team through getting through the office? What are those steps? Okay, because they leave a lot of the steps out of here. Okay, how do you get your team on the same page? Okay, think about all those types of aspects. On basically, and it talks a little bit about productivity. Okay, again, this is a very short, basically one-page case. But you still want to follow that same process of identifying what the problems are as you're trying to lead a case. You know, what are those problems that you anticipate in taking a team online, okay? You know, and some of those will be in supervision. Some of those are in, you know, in coaching. How do you do all of this while you're online? And you got to give me more than just, okay, we can make a Zoom call. That's not going to be that's not going to cut it. You're going to have to think a little deeper than that. Okay, what are those obstacles that are going to happen? Okay, so I want you to take a look at that, and then how are you going to monitor productivity? Okay, how are you going to determine that productivity? All again from here, from the digital, you know, how from this, and this kind of tells how they handled it, but I want to know what you think. How would you do it? Put yourself in that shoes, okay? And then we come back over here, and then I've included a few things to kind of get you started with it, okay? Read the case again, yeah, again, looking at the process from 2 to 5, okay? Some basically, in the case it's a recap company, but I want you to, you know, basically go deeper. It's kind of everything I just said. Is everything the leader? But I'm giving you some questions to kind of get you started. Okay, so basically, is everything that the leader did in this case? Would you agree with? And even if you did agree with it, with all of it, you got to prove to me why you would do that. You got to tell me why you would think that. Okay. You're going to be able to research at least 3 articles on outlining leading teams in a virtual environment. Okay. You know, basically basically take a look at 3 articles of leading teams, and then adding some articles and maybe that, or you need to consider the aspect of the remote environment. Tell me what's different. Tell me what's the same. Okay. And how they would apply there. And that's basically what questions 2 and 3 are. Okay. Question 3 is research, basically research articles on outlying teams, and also give me an article or two on what it takes to basically be a leader in a remote environment. Compare those two for me, okay? And then apply them back to the case, okay? And then these should be somewhere around about 5 pages in length, which includes your references. So you're going to have probably about 5 references. Again, guys, that's the APA style. If you have any questions of that, the library has some great resources on how to do that. Word also does this for you, but you can copy those references right from the library sources that you're using as you're doing the researching. So basically, and then the additional notes if you want here, those are the types of things. If you're still not really grasping this, please feel free to reach out to me. Drop me an email. We can get on a quick Zoom call and I could go through this a little bit more clearer. I will be monitoring the email over the weekend as well as the discussion threads. So feel free to, and again, this is still going to be due on Monday evening at midnight. But I still want everybody to have a good holiday weekend. So I want to make sure I got this out for you guys. So you could do this. There will be some, basically, if you get it in Tuesday morning, that's fine. I mean, but basically we're looking for it to be in before I start grading on Tuesday morning. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys have my email, and I hope everybody does have a great and safe holiday weekend.